The Steelers have had enough with Aaron Rodgers, and they may have just forced his hand pretty masterfully. The Tyreek Hill trial has begun, not that the four-letter network is talking about it. I'm going to tell you why. The NFL and the referees are one step closer to getting a deal done, and based on the details we have so far, I think the refs are about to get a lot better. And of course, because this story just never ends, Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini have another new development. This one might just have the Patriots front office talking exit strategy. We're going to talk about it. I'm Seattle Mike on the mic, and this is the Seattle Mike Show. The Steelers are done being at the complete mercy of Aaron Rodgers. After spending much of the last two off seasons waiting for Aaron Rodgers to make a decision, the Steelers have finally had enough. At the end of April, Pittsburgh slapped Rodgers with the unrestricted free agent tender. That means if Rodgers signs with another team prior to July 22nd, the Steelers secure a compensatory draft pick. The problem for Aaron? Per ESPN, nobody other than the Steelers is interested in Rodgers. If Rodgers doesn't sign with a team by July 22nd, the Steelers will own his rights, meaning he can either play for the Steelers, retire, or hope another team wants him badly enough to trade for him by the November 3rd trade deadline. Really what this means is the Steelers took away Rodgers' option to soft retire and wait to see if a playoff contender's starting quarterback gets injured after the season starts. And you know what? Good for Pittsburgh. Because I bet if Rodgers would have said at the start of the offseason, I understand if you move on, but I want to keep my options open, they don't make this move. They probably respect it. Instead, he told them he'd let them know his decision when he gets around to it. That's not how this works. The Steelers felt they had to force his hand, and good for them, because about 10 days after the Steelers slapped the UFA tender on Rodgers, suddenly he's showing up to team facilities and is expected to sign sometime this weekend. I'm Seattle Mike on the mic saying, never let a quarterback who once had a man bun dictate your franchise. Tyreek Hill's civil trial from influencer Sophie Hall began on Thursday, and there's some funny things from the media that we need to talk about. In case you missed it, Sophie Hall is an internet personality who went to Tyreek Hill's house in June of 2023 after she and Hill connected on Instagram over her son attending his football camp. Hall claims that while she was at Tyreek Hill's house, the two engaged in football drills, and during one of the drills, she lined up opposite Tyreek Hill and managed to push him back, which caused his friends that were watching on to laugh. Tyreek Hill then switched sides with Hall and bull rushed her, causing her to break her leg. That's Hall's side of the story. Tyreek Hill is arguing that she didn't fall from him, but actually because she tripped over a dog that was in his yard during the drills. We'll see how the trial plays out, but I'm finding the coverage, or lack thereof, to be hilarious. First of all, sports media has been silent on this matter, maybe because the NFL owns 10% of ESPN. I think that's a huge part. But second of all, nobody wants to address what Sophie Hall does for a living. Every article about the trial from non-sports websites describes her as a social media influencer, which is technically true. Guys, she's an OnlyFans model. A few clicks through her Instagram and you can get to her page. How come when Stormy Daniels was telling her story about Trump, everybody could talk about the fact that she was a porn star or adult film actress, but when it comes to OnlyFans, social media influencer is the lie we go with? According to her page, she's 6'1" and is a tall goddess. For $5, you can find out exactly what that means. Feel free to do your own research there. I'm not about to make an account for that. Here's the part that actually matters. None of that matters. Why does it matter what she does for a living? Okay, men pay her for their fetishes. So what? It has nothing to do with her getting injured by or around Tyreek Hill. She's a human being with the same rights as anyone else. You don't need to approve of what she does to acknowledge this story and the fact that Tyreek Hill, a man previously accused of domestic violence, child abuse, and assault, is on trial for breaking a woman's leg. I'm Seattle Mike on the mic saying Sophie Hall is a social media influencer. I can't believe I'm about to say this. I think the NFL owners just made a deal that is good for the fans. The NFL Ref Association is set to vote on a new collective bargaining agreement on Thursday, and the terms we know so far are actually good. The new deal reportedly includes improved training for officials, refs working mini camps, training camps, joint practice sessions before the season. The deal also gives the NFL more access to officials during the season, which I'm taking to mean they can do in-season meetings and tell refs what areas they can improve on. So if the refs aren't being consistent, the league has access to them, and that way they can give them some notes during the week. I see that as a good thing. The new deal also includes a bench of officials at each game. I think the idea is that if a ref gets hurt, you can pull from the bench and sub someone in. The reason my dumb brain finds that kind of funny is because I'm picturing the head referee going up to one of the other officials and going, "John, today's not your day. Take the bench. We're going to put the kid in to finish this one out. Give me Vaughn."
You mean Rick Vaughn?
I'm Seattle Mike on the mic, remaining cautious until the vote is official and all of the details come out. But for now, good job, owners. Good job. One day after the last update, there's another Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini update, and it's bad. A day after TMZ dropped photos of boat rental waivers signed by Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini from June of 2021, there's now a new video of the incident that gives this whole thing more unsavory context. This video shows a very pregnant Dianna Russini meeting alone with Mike Vrabel. No group of friends, no obvious coincidence, no, we just happen to be in the same place type of thing. They were there for each other. So Mike Vrabel is boating alone with another man's very pregnant wife. And trust me, I'm making a football connection here, but we gotta address something ugly in order to get there. Who the hell spends this kind of alone time with another man's pregnant wife? Like meeting a friend at the mall or something, that's a little different, but a private boat outing alone for hours, that's not casual. That's not nothing. And I'm not going to speculate about anyone's child. That's not my lane, and I don't think it should be anyone else's lane without some facts. But when a married NFL head coach is caught privately boating with a married, visibly pregnant reporter, it creates the kind of ugly speculation that doesn't just stay on the internet. It follows him into the building. It follows him into the locker room. And that's the football piece of this. This isn't just a distraction. This is a locker room debate. Every time coach steps out of the room, it's, do you think something was going on? No way. Are you dumb? Of course something was going on. And once that starts, it's not just gossip anymore. It becomes credibility problems. It becomes a, how well do we actually know coach type of moment. And that's why this matters for Mike Vrabel. A head coach has to stand in front of a locker room full of grown men and demand accountability, sacrifice, focus, and maturity. But if those same grown men are whispering about his private life every time he leaves the room, that absolutely matters. A head coach can't demand accountability from everyone else if the entire building is wondering what he's not being accountable for. So no, this isn't just tabloid drama anymore. This is now a leadership issue. And if Vrabel can't walk into that Patriots locker room and command respect without this hanging over every conversation, then New England doesn't just have a gossip problem. They have a head coach credibility problem. I'm Seattle Mike on the mic saying this isn't going away, and the longer Vrabel stays quiet, the louder that locker room gets. Thanks for watching this episode of the Seattle Mike Show. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the important updates to these stories. I'm Seattle Mike on the mic. I'll catch you guys next time.